to pay 10% regardless. That's our floor. And you have no choice. And what you're going to have to do is lower your margins. Not my problem. That's his position. What is your juxtaposition to that?
Well, I tell you, there's a time and a place where you allow another country, say 30, 40 years ago, China, to have high tariffs, and we accept their goods at next to no tariffs,
right, exactly.
because you want that economy to develop. China is not an undeveloped economy anymore. They probably don't have the buying power as on average as the American citizen, of course, but they're not a third world country anymore. Japan's not a third world country anymore. Western Europe, for the most part, not a third world country anymore. These are developed economies, and it is no longer in our interest to have, allow them to have extremely high tariffs on our products when, we can sell them. They're consumers. If it wasn't for the tariff, they're taxing their own people. If it wasn't for those tariffs, they could buy a lot more of our products. So what Trump is trying to do and say, hey, we're going to put tariffs on your whiskey until you lower your tariffs on our corn. Just pulling two products out.
No, it's true. Yeah, right.
That's the fire extinguisher now. I don't want to do this, but if you're going to stick it to me on your end, why wouldn't we do it to yours? Mm-hmm. It's a balanced thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if we had 20% tariffs on each other, that's kind of a value-added tax, sales tax, if you will. But it's gotten so. If theirs is 20 and ours is 0 or 5, why do we allow that? Why do we allow that?
Let's let McGowan in here to break the tie.
So as we look at this, we have to understand what the president is trying to do, and this goes to the heart of America First. He's trying to help us rebuild the middle class in this country. And that is a noble pursuit, and I support it. We have to understand that a generation ago, there was so much manufacturing in this country that you could make a good, solid living. But we've hollowed out those jobs. We've sent those jobs overseas. Listen, Ross Perot made a very valid point when he ran for president in the early 1990s, and he said when you support NAFTA, the giant sucking sound you're going to hear is jobs leaving the United States of America. Listen, let's all look back, and Ross Perot had a valid point.
Bingo.
He proved correct in this, and President Trump, 30 years later, is trying to say we have to reconcile this. We have to rebuild the middle class, and it goes back to what Colonel Miller has expertise in. He spent over 3 decades in our armed forces. We have to be able to build things if we are going to be a military superpower. Trump is trying to bring that manufacturing back to the United States, and I support him in doing so.
All right, McGowan and Fredericks 2, and Don Cass 1. So you lost 2-1.
Well, I don't know about that. I think Don's making very valid points about agriculture, and we're delighted to have Don with us this morning. And Don farms about 45 minutes from here, Don, in Remsen, Iowa.
About an hour, yeah.
About an hour in Remsen, Iowa. So thanks for getting up super early. Heck, you were probably doing chores. You probably had a couple of hours of chores done before you got on the road to Sioux City.
My beloved wife, who's watching us, streaming us right now, and she's going to have to walk through 4,000 pigs because I'm down here. So you guys owe her one.
We do. We're gonna have to take her to dinner.
Thank you, Mrs. Cass.
Can I just say after this,
Yes.
after hanging on to John's show and taking the beating that you've taken, wouldn't you just beg to be back with those pigs again?
Well, they don't smell as nice as these boys do, but yeah.
Yeah, I got dressed up.
They don't talk back either.
Yeah. I got dressed. No, but listen, it's a good discussion, and you know it's interesting. Chris McGowan mentions NAFTA. That's how I first got to Trump. Was NAFTA. When I was fighting NAFTA back in the day. Remember that was the Newt Gingrich thing and everything. I could only find 3 people that were against it. It was Pat Buchanan, Ross Perot, who was Ross Perot, and Donald J. Trump, who at the time was a Democrat back in the 90s. So that's how I first hooked up. Like I couldn't find anybody that was against NAFTA anywhere. And of course, Newt Gingrich, all the Republicans were for it, the Democrats were for it. So we had 3 people fighting it. Obviously, we didn't fare very well. But that's how I hooked up with Buchanan back then. But I was one of them. NAFTA was a disaster, and that thing they turned it into, USMCA, That's just NAFTA light. I mean, that did nothing. We're going to go to a quick break. When we get back, we got Ox, we got McGowan. Team McGowan is basically here. Colonel Brian Miller, Chris Hupke, Don Cass. Hello, Mrs. Cass. Thank you for sharing your husband with us. So you got to go walk through the pigs, but thank you. We appreciate it. And we got the Oxman with us. So we're all going to be right back. You're on the John Fredericks Media Network on the Trump bus, doing a bus tour in Iowa, day 3 in Sioux City. And I wouldn't be here without McGowan's leadership. And last night when he took us to 3 states in 3 minutes, I'm like, where are we? South Dakota. Where are we? Nebraska. Where are we? Oh, now we're back in Iowa. And he said, you should move. And he said, this is the subdivision. You and Ann, when you're empty nesters, we are empty nesters, should move here. Like, no.
Well, we'd love to have you in Sioux City, Iowa. You did give me the choice between North Dakota and South Dakota. And I said, be right across. If it's down to those two, take South Dakota because you're right across the border from Iowa. But if it's open-ended, we'd love to have you in Iowa.
Well, it's going to be hard for me and Ann to leave the
We understand.
most beautiful, gorgeous city in America, Washington, D.C., of which, by the way, I am running for Ward 2 chairman there. I got to get my petition signed. Don't forget. Just go to my website. Good segue. Make DC Great. That's makedcgreat.com. Makedcgreat.com. You can help me out there. We need petition signers. Got to get on the ballot. And Hupke knows about that. He's getting signatures now, pain in the ass. So I got to get signatures. Plus, you can always give me a campaign donation out of the goodness of your heart, all by going to makedcgreat.com. We're going to be right back with the Iowa gang and a little Minnesota thrown in the Ox. Stay with us. All right, you're back in the John Fredericks Media Network. Great to have you. We are on the Trump bus tour, Iowa. What do you guys call it? Sioux something?
Sioux City, tri-state region,
Sioux
the Siouxland
City,
area.
Siouxland area.
The Siouxland area.
We got a great crew here. We got so many people. I had to write them all down. I can't remember. But, of course, we got Ox with us, the Oxman, KNSI Radio, gracing us with his presence. He'll be doing his show starting at 9 o'clock right here on the Trump bus. So you don't want to miss that. Chris McGowan is with us, candidate, U.S. Congress District 4. This is the seat of Randy Feenstra, who is the existing congressperson running for governor and doesn't spending a lot of time in Iowa, going to 99 counties, and some people are wringing their hands over it. But he's going to be on Friday, so we'll ask him about it. No worries. Colonel Brian Miller, who I'm going to have back on as a regular guest, talk about the debacle that went on in Afghanistan. And Rumsfeld's favorite line, that was, I never heard that. Rumsfeld's favorite line, if we keep, what was it?
I'm not sure we can kill enough people to make them like us.
That is so Rumsfeld, right? That is such a great line. I'm not sure we can kill enough people in Iraq to make them like us. That's good. Okay, we got Colonel Brian Miller with us, soon to be the military advisor for the McGowan's Congress seat. Chris Hupke is with us. Hupke and I agree on everything. He's Trump, Governor Noem, 2016 Trump Iowa 4 director, blah, blah, blah. I got all that done. And then, of course, Don Cass is with us, gracing us with his presence off his farm, county supervisor, Trump Electoral College, and a farmer. And we had a good discussion here on top. This segment is brought to you by our good friend Glenn Story of Patriot Mobile. I run my company. I travel all the time. We have 23 radio stations. We have a media company. I run them on 3 phones. 1, 2, 3. So I run my company, right? 3 phones, all Patriot Mobile. One of my phones I left in Chris McGowan's truck last night, and that phone is my bat phone. And so I panicked, and I'm like, oh, I can't find my bat phone, McGowan. Patriot Mobile, they're all Patriot Mobile. And he's like, didn't respond. And then he comes in, he's like, dude, here it is. Easiest request I ever had. Left it on the front seat, so thank you.
Check your text messages. I responded instantly. You asked me to check. I said I will. And then 2 seconds later, I said, got it. So,
yeah, here it is. I didn't check
You
it.
stand corrected?
Yes, McGowan says.
There we go. That's the
yes,
first time
got it.
all morning.
At 6:45, can you check your car from my other phone, please? Chris, it's my bat phone. Response, 6:45, the same time. Yes, got it. Okay, He's a man of his word.
We aim to please.
Anyway, this segment is brought to you by Patriot Mobile. For 10 years, Patriot Mobile has been America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. I run all my companies off at 3 phones, $80 a month, no, $69 a month. Text, this, that, the other. But here's the thing, they got a BOGO. Buy one, get one. You say, what do you mean I get 2 phones? No. You get 2 carriers. So the beauty of this is, right? I pay for 1 carrier, you pick 2. So I picked Verizon and AT&T. You can pick whatever you want, right? You can pick AT&T, Metro PCS, depending on where you are. You get 2 carriers for the price of 1. And if you go to an area where your primary carrier has 2 bars and your secondary carrier has 5 bars, it automatically switches over. You do nothing. And then it switches back. So you're always getting 5 bars. You get 2 carriers for the price of 1. A brilliant deal. Glenn Story's got this figured out. Plus, he's trying to get me to do a bus tour in Texas. They got a big primary coming up there. Big one. You got all kinds of people running, and governor and senate. So we're thinking about doing that. We got to take Ox to Texas. You want to go to Texas?
CPAC. I'm going to CPAC at the end of March.
Week before.
Week
before.
I'll come early.
So come early, right? Bus has got to go there anyway. So come early. We do the week before. I got to figure out what games my son's playing that weekend. I got to figure that out. I think we get back from that weekend. We're at UCLA. We get back. We're going straight to Dallas. So it might be the week before, but we'll figure it out. Or it could be the week after.
Can't wait. It's going to be a lot warmer there than in Minnesota.
Anyway, I don't know what phone service you have, but it probably sucks. What you want to do is you want to go to Patriot Mobile. Go to patriotmobile.com/Godzilla. patriotmobile.com/Godzilla. Say you want the Godzilla BOGO, and you're going to get that, or you can call them, and they're in Dallas. 972-PATRIOT, 972-PATRIOT. When you call them up, don't be shocked. They're going to answer the phone and speak English. I know it's going to be a shock to your system. You have to punch numbers. A human being, not AI, a person will answer the phone. They're actually alive, and they will talk to you. It's an amazing thing what this phone is when people answer it. 972-PATRIOT. Go to patriotmobile.com/Godzilla. We thank Glenn Story. I want to get back to Hupke. What's going on here with ICE? What's the attitude in Iowans with ICE?
Yeah, well, as you know, the MAGA movement supported Trump in 24. This is what we voted for, right? And so when we watch what's going on in Minneapolis, it's just something that I know people across the country, Iowans share, is that we support our law enforcement. And so, to watch what's going on with this group in Minneapolis is it's unconscionable that they could be attacking our law enforcement for, just basically enforcing our law. And so we're proud of the fact that we're not a sanctuary state, but to suggest that Minneapolis doesn't have to follow federal law, to Iowans, they're appalled at it and support the president, because that's exactly what he ran on, is to clean up the country, remove the pedos, get rid of the murderers, the human drug traffickers. And so this is really important because it seems like it's capturing the whole narrative out there. We love Tom Homan and what he's doing. We love ICE and the work that they're doing.
Colonel Miller, tell us about the new body cams going on to ICE. I know Corey Lewandowski was 100% behind that. And he said it's for 2 reasons. It's to protect the ICE officers, so you know what's going on. But he also said it's to surveil the what he calls the color revolution. Military guy, general, what do you think of that?
Yeah, I think Corey hit it right on the head. I think the body cameras are a good thing. Again, usually it exonerates instead of condemns. And and I just think whether we like it or not, we've reached a point where we need that, that level of, I don't know what you call it, security or whatever it is, to put an end to this stuff, because we know the other side, no matter what happens, will spin it the other way. Look at the young lady who was shot on January 6th. There was no outrage over that in the Capitol.
Ashley Babbitt.
Ashley Babbitt.
Shot in the neck.
Yeah, right in the neck. Yeah, terrible. She was murdered. She murdered. Nobody.
She wasn't doing anything.
She wasn't
coming in a
doing-
window.
That's right. And a veteran. Yeah, came through a window and they murdered her. You know, a quick side note on the ICE thing. You know what's interesting? If you go out there, it's federal law that illegal immigrants have to register for the draft. Now think about that for a minute. If you're between the age of 18 and 26, it's crystal clear, even if you're in the country illegally, you have to provide an updated address all the time and register for the draft, or it's a felony. And nobody ever brings that up when they say, hey, they didn't break any laws when they came here, illegally. It was just a misdemeanor. It's a felony to come into this country and not register. So anyway, to back up what Chris said, we are very supportive of ICE and what they're trying to do.
Excellent. Chris McGowan, if you're in Congress, are you voting for funding ICE, or do you want changes?
No, absolutely. I think that the president has done everything that he can to follow through on his promises. He ran on this platform. He was elected on this platform. He's asked Tom Homan and obviously the Secretary of DHS, Kristi Noem, to enforce the law. Folks, it's easy to forget that the President of the United States took an oath to uphold our laws. And if you don't like our laws, then you petition Congress to change them. Until then, the President has sworn an oath to uphold the law as the executive leader of our federal government. That's what the executive branch does. He's doing so, and he's going to continue to do so. And again, if you don't like the federal law as it relates to immigration, then petition Congress to change it. Until then, the president swore an oath to uphold our laws.
I mean, that's exactly it, right? I mean, you got to follow the law, and this whole thing with ICE, and I believe what's going on in your state is a color revolution. So, hopefully we'll get this thing funded. I want to get to the Iowa straw poll that I have. So just go to our website, johnfredericksradio.com, or any of our social media at JF Radio Show. You want to participate in that? We have 11 candidates on it, so you can rank them in order, because as you guys know, I'm a believer in ranked choice for primaries, not for general. But we want to get a sense of where people are right now. We're trying to get to about 10,000 respondents, so just respond there. We don't capture your name or your email. We're not going to send you a salad or anything like that. It's all anonymous, but you got to go on there, make your choice known, make your voice heard. And some of the early results we've had have been very, very interesting. Just go to johnfredericksradio.com or any of my social media at GF Radio Show and go ahead and vote in that straw poll. We would really appreciate it. Ox, you and I have been in the Iowa caucuses. I mean, I was there. Santorum, Romney, don't even remember when that is. Gingrich was in there, got beat. We were there for Trump in 2016. We were there in 2020, right? Were we there in 2020?
No, that's correct. There was no 2020.
Oh, no, I was there in 2020 for the Democrats. That was Pete Buttigieg and whatever.
I may have missed that one.
Yeah, you missed that. That was I remember we had
I was downtown drinking when you were doing that.
We actually had Tulsi Gabbard on our bus. And the Andrew Yang.
Oh, yeah.
So we were there for
Dynamic. Very exciting fella.
12, 16. Wanted to give everybody $1,000, and we ended up doing it anyway. 2012, 16, 20, 24, obviously we were there. So go to 28. I believe that the winner of Iowa is going to, one, be the nominee, and two, is going to be the person who takes the mantle for MAGA, one way or the other. So I think Iowa takes on a bigger importance than ever coming up. And Iowas are going to choose the nominee, and they're going to choose who takes the mantle. So that's how big this is. I'm going to start with Chris McGowan. So we're only 2 years out. You and I have talked about coming here in the 2-year midterm forever.
Yeah, been talking. We finally did it. This is great.
Finally, we did it.
Thanks to these fellas.
Yeah.
Coming out.
So you look at 2016, and I was there for part of the Trump effort in 2016. We really had no organization. Ted Cruz won that. Rubio was third in that. They had an organization. Cruz's organization was unbelievable. And he went to all these counties, and he got the evangelicals, and he got the vote out, and he defeated us there. We didn't really have an organization. We had a helicopter. But we've got Cruz at our DC GOP. We actually do have a party reception March 11th. And he's going to be in DC as our featured speaker at our Lincoln Douglas reception. And he's running for president. He won last time, McGowan. What do you see his chances in 2028?
So we're fans of Senator Cruz. However, it's worth noting Senator Cruz has a great background. I believe he did his undergrad at Princeton. He was a national debate champion as an undergrad at Princeton. He went on to study law at Harvard. I believe he clerked for Chief Justice Rehnquist. So clearly a brilliant individual. The headwind that Senator Cruz is going to have to confront in Iowa in 2028 is his position on former Iowa Ag Secretary Bill Northey. God rest his soul, Bill's deceased. But Bill was serving as the Secretary of Agriculture in the state of Iowa. President Trump asked him to come and be part of USDA in an undersecretary capacity, and that required Senate confirmation, and Senator Ted Cruz blocked that for about 6 months.
Wow.
And so Senator Cruz is going to have to respond to Iowans for why he blocked our ag secretary from joining the Trump administration. I think we know the answer. That's a battle between ethanol and oil. And ethanol's very important to Iowa. And Don Cass, right here with us, has a certain amount of expertise on that as a farmer, as an agriculturalist, as an elected official. And as we said, he was a Trump elector in the Electoral College on 2 different occasions. But yeah, Senator Cruz is going to have some tough questions to answer when he arrives in the state of Iowa leading up to the 28 caucuses.
So, Don Cass, is that going to be the end of Ted Cruz in Iowa?
I tend to think it is, yes. I don't think he'll even try it in Iowa. And I give credit to President Trump in this second term making a priority to have E15 year-round all across the nation. So it's
And 15% ethanol.
Yeah, ethanol, yes. Ethanol, 15% of your what goes into your tank. And every car built after, I think it's like 2002, will take that, and it's perfectly fine for your engine. But that's huge for the corn farmers out here in Iowa.
So he's got to answer the fact that he blocked your nominee for Undersecretary of Agriculture in order to appease his oil.
And that's correct. And if you knew Bill Northey, Bill Northey was one of the nicest, most well-regarded Iowans that I can remember. He was just a great guy, and everybody just loved him. He was perhaps up until that point, and Mike Nega's current Iowa Secretary of Agriculture, who is also a great guy. But Bill Northey was the gold standard for secretaries of ag anywhere. He was just a great guy. So that's not going to help Ted Cruz.
He's not going to fly again.
He ain't going to fly.
He's not going to win
No,
again.
he's just gonna. Let's not be premature and say he's not gonna fly. But he's gonna have to. He'll be asked about that, and he has to be prepared to respond to that. Never say never, but that he's gonna battle a stiff headwind out of the gate because he blocked our Secretary of Agriculture and President Trump's appointee. President Trump nominated him. Eventually, he got him to the USDA as an undersecretary, but it was after 6 months of delay at the behest of Senator Cruz, who I'm sure was acting in the interest of his constituency in Texas. And that's politics.
You have to remember, what did then candidate Trump call Ted Cruz? What was his nickname?
Lion Ted.
Lion Ted.